Blocks, a toy analysis by April Hemlock.
Hi, I'm April Hemlock and this is Drake Hemlock, and today we're playing with blocks.
In this toy analysis, I will discuss 3 different styles of blocks: the traditional cube style block, a multi-shaped building block, and a more unconventional shaped block. We will investigate the fine motor, gross motor, cognitive, perceptual, and social emotional requirements and aspects needed for children to play with blocks. Last, I will investigate the developmental stages related to block play from theorist Piaget and part. Here is an example of the standard cube-style block. Many times these blocks will have letters, numbers, and pictures, making the blocks a more fun and interactive learning tool for children. Uncle Goose is a local company in Michigan that makes handmade blocks from Michigan basswood. I like this block making company because they offer many varieties of blocks, such as the classic ABC block, but in multiple languages such as English, French, German, Italian, and more. This company also makes number blocks, blocks of the United States of America, element blocks from the periodic table of elements, and nursery rhyme blocks. Last, Uncle Goose makes blocks with Braille with ABCs and numbers for children with visual impairments. Next, we will look at a 3.5-year-old child playing with building blocks made by Melissa and Doug. Yeah, can you tell me about the blocks, Ryder?
I'm building a big wall.
First, notice this 3.5-year-old child's fine motor skill development, as he is using the palmar and pinch tip grasp to pick up and drop each block. This demonstrates more advanced play with blocks because the child is able to stack multiple blocks on top of one another without the wall falling. This might appear to be just a fine motor task. However, the interaction of cognition and perception is highly utilized in order for the child to successfully stack the blocks. Cognition is required as the child uses his knowledge of walls or buildings and pretends to create the structure with blocks while also explaining his intentions with language. Perceptual motor and perceptual conceptual abilities are also utilized during block play. The child uses his perceptual motor abilities to have the precise control needed to gently place the block on top of the other while using his perceptual conceptual skills to know what sequence to place the next block when building the wall. The skills shown as this child plays with blocks are literally the building blocks for the foundation of refined fine motor skills needed later in life. Another point related to the social emotional aspects of playing with blocks is that blocks can be played with independently or with multiple children of various ages simultaneously. Actually, blocks are a great way for children ages 3 to 5 to learn necessary social skills such as turn-taking and the communication of one's feelings. According to Parton's social participation in play theory, children can interact with others in various ways during play. When playing with blocks, a child can demonstrate solitary, independent, parallel, associative, or cooperative social participation. Essentially, a child can play independently with blocks, play with blocks around others who are also playing with blocks, but do not interact, and children can play with blocks together in a game-like fashion. Now that you have seen a preschooler learn and explore blocks, I will provide an example of an unconventional style of block that is ideal for children in the sensory motor stage of development. According to Piaget, children have 4 stages of development. Children in the sensory motor and preoperational stages typically play with blocks. However, a child in the concrete developmental stage might still enjoy playing with blocks if given specific guidelines to follow. Of course, all the examples of blocks I am showing today can be interchanged within the different ages and stages because the best aspect of blocks is that the individual child can regulate their play based on their current level of development. My last example here are called baby tree blocks. As you can see, these blocks are basically pieces of tree limbs that have been sanded smooth. They are all natural and non-toxic. Of course, all of the examples of blocks I am showing you today are non-toxic, which is important for any children's toy. Most children, especially babies, frequently put toys in their mouth as part of their environmental exploration. So make sure that any blocks that you use are made from safe, non-toxic materials. Also, make sure that if any block becomes splintered, make it inaccessible to your child. Keep blocks away from pets as they tend to like to chew on blocks, causing splinters. One more aspect of these tree blocks is the unconventional and unsymmetrical shapes of these blocks, which is a great way for children to learn new shapes when exploring their environment and developing their proprioceptive sensing. Notice the way the tree block fits naturally and comfortably in the small child's hand. The child is building fine motor strength by grasping the block and is also developing haptic perception. Haptic perception is the child's understanding of an object's shape, texture, and mass. Exposure to different shapes, textures, and degrees of hardness, as when a child plays with blocks, leads to developing the skills needed later for handwriting and other activities of daily living, such as holding a toothbrush. Gross motor strength is also developed as a child controls his trunk while reaching to pick up the block. A child also develops gross motor strength and balance when holding the blocks while walking. Children can hold blocks in each hand while banging them together, demonstrating bilateral integration, and might pass one block from one hand to the other, crossing the midline. Also, children use motor control when learning how to manipulate the block in order to stack it on top of another, which is an important developmental milestone. Children typically should be able to stack 2 to 3 blocks on top of each other by age 2. Tree blocks are a great modification to the traditional cube block because the unconventional shapes make it easier for children with increased tone or spasticity in the hands to grip the block. Also, tree blocks have all smooth edges for children who might be prone to falling, as there are no hard corners to cause injury. These blocks come with a soft storage bag, which is great for children as they begin to learn sorting and organizational skills. We hope you enjoyed this toy analysis about blocks. We think blocks are a great toy for boys and girls of all ages, cultures, and abilities. So happy building! Thank you!